Youngsters, we must get on with the shoe. We have a really big shoe. That's how it sounded like when Ed Sullivan said show. Sounded like he was saying shoe. People from Canada and the United States are in on this little joke that Ed Sullivan sounded like he was saying shoe. Now the whole world will be in on the joke. Come close. Between you and me, this is something that a true Beatles expert would know. Wow. The shoe thing. I am a music teacher, and I want to break it down very simply for you. In those days, the Ed Sullivan Show was the place to be. In New York City, it came on CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System, at 8 o'clock in the evening. In Chicago, which is in the middle of the country, it came on at 7 o'clock p.m. on a Sunday evening, again, on the CBS network, Columbia Broadcasting System. And on that evening, most people were in front of their televisions. There were no computers in the household, nor was there YouTube. Today we start from the 9th of February, 1964, from the book. Leaving the hotel the next morning, the Beatles' limousine was surrounded by almost 200 girls. The driver was forced to climb over the roof to get to the wheel. As the car started to pull away, someone asked John if he minded all of this. "No," John explained. "It's not our car." Behind the scenes. An audience consisting mainly of teenage girls had been invited to watch the rehearsal for that evening's show, as well as the taping of 2 additional songs for the program in 3 weeks' time. They were reasonably quiet until Ringo's drums were rolled on stage. Then they began to scream. Before the Beatles appeared, Sullivan came on stage and asked the audience to give their attention to all of the other fine performers besides the Beatles who were appearing, because if they didn't, he would call a barber and have their hair cut off.
Uh-oh.
Sullivan went on to say, "Our city, indeed the country, has never seen anything like these 4 young men from Liverpool. Ladies and gentlemen, the Beatles!"
Close your eyes and I'll miss you.
According to this book, what happened to the audience next A writer in the New York Herald Tribune the following day compared it with that terrible screech the BMT Astoria train makes as it turns east near 59th Street and 7th Avenue. Well, I can hear the sound of a train going around in the loop in Chicago, so I can imagine. While the Beatles rehearsed, that was just their rehearsal, by the way, my friends. Cynthia Lennon, John's wife, stood in the back of the theater talking to Maureen Cleave, a reporter from England. And Cynthia wanted to go shopping but was afraid to go out alone. The fans here seem a bit wackier than in England, Cynthia said. A fan who happened to be standing near overheard her, and 10 minutes later, she came back with a huge parcel. There's no need for you to be afraid to go shopping now, as she presented Cynthia with a present for their 6-month-old son. When the rehearsal and taping ended, Sullivan stood on the stage. It warms me to hear such enthusiasm, he said. I'm going to be sick, said a cameraman in the background. Someone asked Sullivan about the comment of his musical director, Ray Bloch, a comment that had appeared in the New York Times that morning. Bloch had told the Times, the only thing that's different is the hair, as far as I can see. I give them a year. Sullivan called Bloch over. Now, Ray, he said, you can't say things like that. They asked me how long I thought the Beatles would be making this kind of money, replied Bloch, an elegant little man in a goatee. And I said about a year. Of course, I meant that they would, then make a movie and make more money. On the other side of the stage, a young man carrying a stenographic pad, that's a pad of paper, walked over to a CBS press aide. He worked for Time magazine and had been sent to New York from Washington. He said, I don't know if this story is going to be in Music or Showbiz magazine. It should go in National Affairs, said the CBS man. Next time we read, we're going to look at how Sullivan even found the Beatles. It's not as easy as you think. These take me a long time, so I'll be back as soon as I can. Adios.